Hello. We're gonna have everybody on the chat instead of live audio. We'll wait a few more minutes to let people in.
How you doing, Juanita? Stick page.
Hi, doing great.
Looking forward to it. You're missing your Valises.
Yeah, it's all packed up for the big show next month.
Great. Are you going to be there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. I'll go mute on my end.
That's good. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Juanita. It's David.
Hey, David. Or good afternoon.
I'd like to share. Well, it's still morning for me. It's 10 here in Arizona. Afternoon for you, I guess.
Yep. Good morning. And thanks for hosting this.
Yeah, thank you, Juanita. Hopefully this is one of more to come.
That's what we're thinking about.
And here's the best part. I won't say anything through your whole presentation. You're completely on your own. I'm going mute.
Hi.
Hi.
It's Wendy, not Margaret. I'm ready. I have some questions.
Okay, what we're going to do is here, since we're starting to get people in, is everybody who has questions going to do it through the chat. Otherwise, we're going to have too many people chiming in at once. And Jesse's going to help me out to filter through some of these questions as we go.
Okay. I just got to grab a pen.
Okay, it's about 1:02, so we'll get started here. Welcome to Woburn, Massachusetts at the RISO Communication Center. Today's topic, as Ask Me Anything, going to be about envelopes, between envelopes through the standard tray, envelopes through the straight shooter. Any other questions you have, just let me know through the chat, and we'll try to get everything here in between 30 minutes or so. If we have to go a little bit over, we can, or we'll do another session after Print United. So let's get started and see where we're at with some of the questions.
Okay. So, okay. My envelopes. Jamming.
Everybody's muted. Okay, what we're going to start is since we don't have any question, I'm going to start out setting up the column color for envelopes. The first step is basically what you need to do is make sure your settings in the control panel is set for envelopes. Right now, you go into the system info. First thing, I got 11 by 18 and thickness at thick. So you want to change that up. So paper settings, paper size, you can go auto, okay. Paper thickness, we're gonna go to envelope. Through the standard tray, if you go auto with our firmware, it will detect it. So I'm gonna just take some number 10 envelopes, slide it over, slide it in, Jesse to the control panel. And it detects the number 10 envelope. If I take it out and the control panel, it won't see it. So there's an auto detection for the sizing of the envelopes. So that's that. The other setting is what you have to do when you start is it's the stripper pad. So the stripper pad itself is this little thing. So you got one, it sets the angle, and the other is sets the pressure. So for envelopes, I always start out with 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Sometimes I go a little bit about around 8 o'clock on my stripper pad for envelopes. But 95% of the time, this is my good starting point. And then I'll put it back in. Sure it's tight. And then we'll put our envelope in. Let's put some. And there we go. The other thing is to set on these envelopes is on the control panel is, let's go to the admin mode. And then go home button, admin, printer, envelope feed option. You want that on wide. That gives you a little bit more gap for the envelope to feed through on the belt. If you have it on standard, maybe the smaller, thinner envelopes will work. But what I 95 or 99% of the time I do, I'll put it on wide range. And that's how you start setting up the envelope. I'll let number 10. Let's see if we can print one set. So that was pretty easy to run our envelopes through. The main thing for envelopes is fresh out of the box. And not having it like this, loose and goosey in the box. See, we already got some envelopes bent and everything. So please not try to use stuff like this. They should be nice and tidy up, fresh out of the box, like this. The other thing that we have, sometimes we get manufacturers that has, where are they? Ah, they're over here. Sorry about that. Pulled them, had them away. That has slightly dog-eared on the corners, on all four corners. So I had a bad batch from the manufacturer. So I told the paper vendor, so he credited me. But if you do get a batch and you're trying so hard, and I know these were some good print masters, but I had 4 cartons of bad ones. So I got credit for it. So if you do get bad batches, let the paper manufacturer know. They're pretty much going to credit you. They did me, for at least. The other thing is, we don't have to have digital envelopes, window envelopes, just regular flat from the. So that should help too, because we don't have fusers, heaters, and anything else. So let's start with the straight shooter. So we have everything set up for the envelopes in our systems control. when I pull this out, and set everything back for the straight shooter, which I already had for number 10 set up. This is where we see a lot of issues. Control panel, it's going to say non-standard. Non-standard over here on the control panel, which this means it's covering up some of the sensors. So it's thinking about a non-standard 12 by 18 paper, 11 by 17, because we're covering the whole standard tray. So what you have to do is go paper tray setting, paper size. Instead of saying auto, you want to say envelope number 10. And then you go, okay, close. So this should help out. And if you go back to status, system info, so say number 10 envelopes. That's the first thing. The second thing is we'll go here, and Jesse on that small camera. Thank you. We have two settings. One says long envelope on 10, anything larger than 10 up, anything shorter down. And in between, you switch it and everything and pulling it out. There, you want to have switched over to the reset button in between everything, all the different sizes, 9 by 12, 6 by 9, and number 10s, number 9s, and that's. And what I have also here is speed. Number 10's around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And I made a little cheat sheet right here on my straight shooter, 3.5, A2s, 9 by 12. So I kind of get that as starting point, but it may just adjust slightly different depending on what comp color you have. Let me send a few through. That goes job status, print. Let me make sure I got my settings here. And 1. And there we go. I have a jam. So I got somewhere a little issue. Let's see what it is. It's probably my feed. So I'm not perfect either. So I test everything. So even before a demo or anything, there is a lot of little testing. So let me try this. I'm going to go that way, 8 o'clock. And let's go wider. There. Bring that back up. Make sure everything is set. Bring this open. Once I pull it out. So basically, I just adjusted the stripper pad. And I went from 9 o'clock. I can pull it out to show it. So I went from 9 o'clock to 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock for the straight shooter. Through the standard tray, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So I had to adjust it. So there's the thing about stripper pad. You have to adjust this slightly because the straight shooter pulls it differently than what we have from the standard tray. Any questions so far through the chat? During also quality of print modes. Yes, you are going to get slightly quality the quality of from a standard to a wide. What we can do is switch, have the tech come out and do some switching on the U modes. So that way you don't have the quality issue from standard to wide. So we can do custom settings. I have some already in here. Go back into my system info, standard settings, envelopes. Custom, let's go to 810 for instance. Okay. Paper type, thickness. I got between U1 to U5. So each one of them are slightly different settings. That's the gap settings. You can change from 0 to 3 different 0, 1, 2, and 3 for different gaps. So you can do that to make the quality better on your envelopes. But you have to have the tech to come out for some test modes on that to activate those things. Yes, number 9, you're gonna go through. The settings for number 9 is admin mode. Let's see here, custom settings. Manual. Paper size. I already got a number 9 as a custom settings, but I'll show you how to do custom settings. And then you go, okay, and so we got number 9 IJSO. So for custom settings, to make custom settings that are always inside of the printer already, you go printer, no. So system, custom paper entry, and then you add. Now you can add your width and your height of your envelopes in here. So 3.88 by 8.88. That's your number 9. You give it a name. So I'll just say number 9. Okay. Okay. Now it's the last thing, it's stored. So you close that, and now it's stored in your engine here. So if you go back to your system info, paper setting tray, paper size, scroll down, and it should be the last one, number 9. So you can do that for A2, 9 by 12, 10 by 13, any 8.5 by 11, 6.5 by 9.5 envelopes, any custom sizes you can store right here. Any other questions? Yeah. Remittance envelopes, I see there. We can print remittance envelopes, but we don't recommend to print on the back side of the remittance envelopes, just front sides. But you can do like we did here, measure your remittance envelopes, make it a custom size, and then you can run them through there. And I would say between the 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and on the top dial and 9 o'clock on the bottom dial. Why not the backside? Because the KG rollers down in here, if you have the backside like this, it will hit the heads. So you don't want to do backside. Unless you have open flaps made already from the manufacturer, which remittance are more square. So if you're designing everything to be square and you have the front side and then 90 degrees the back side, if your flaps are open. And of course, if you guys want to get with your DSM or salesperson and have it shipped here your number 9s with flap opens, and we can test it too. And then I can give you some settings or so. So there's none issue with that. So if you have anything or difficult envelopes, send them in, we'll test it, and then we'll give you a heads up on how to help you out to get it set up. Yeah, that's the problem with open flaps, the curl. So even with 9x12, you sometimes get envelopes that are like less. They have the flaps and it curls down. So if you go 9x12 this way through the engine with the flap open, I wouldn't recommend. I'll go with the trail end of the flap and do it this way. So your setting's gonna be 9x12 with the flaps to the back. The other thing is about the flaps is it can't have too much glue on these things. The more glue you're gonna have, the more it's gonna stick. It won't pull. So when you have too much glue on these gum, basically it's gonna adhere to the envelope underneath and it won't pull. So that's the other thing. I know for security reasons, sometimes people have envelopes with lots of glue and everything, but it won't work that way. Unless you have it closed, the flap closed, print it, and then have the inserter do your flap. In-house here, we do Cougar brand, Printmaster, up to 24, 28 pound, 100 GSM, max of all the folds. So you don't want to go like a craft, too thick, no clasps. The wide range settings do. I'm going to open up the machine here real quick. Release. And Jesse may need to adjust the camera a little bit. Thank you. So we're going to open this up. In here, we got the belt. This belt is going to go up and down. So if it closes, it's going to go up and everything else. There are 2 little cylinders in there. And it has a stand, and then adjust the gap. Just enough, a 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter standard. And the standard is a 1 millimeter. 2 millimeter is going to open up the gap just slightly for the envelope to feed. So, and that's that little thing. Next time when we have our show and tell, I'll get technical to give me a little cylinder to show what it is. And I know it's inside, and we'll probably can't get to it, but that's and it's on both 4 sides here. So for our next session, I'll get one of those cylinders that I can show really close up on the camera how that looks and everything else, what the gap shows you and everything else, a diagram and all that.
Great results with
Western States, yes, I had some test envelopes from a few customer. Western States is another good set of envelopes. Let's see, I'm gonna check in while I'm doing, I'm kind of reading the chat here. We got that, admin, flaps. I think we're pretty good covered here today. So the other thing is that I got question earlier from today from a customer is I had an error message. The error message is, don't forget on your RIP or anything, if your default settings was duplex, your envelope won't start feeding or start because you have it on duplex settings. If you have your default on duplex. So make sure your settings are on simplex only for envelopes when you print through a RIP or GDI or PostScript. So whatever default settings you have, make sure they're all on simplex. So the quality also is very important. Like I say, not loose in a box, fresh out of the box, temperature control a little bit too. Make sure your room is not, well, today it's been raining, so we had a lot of humidity. So I got the air conditioner running here at 68 today, trying to keep it cooler. So the humidity, because if you get envelopes that are starting to fluff up, it won't run either too well. So temperature control is a key too of having successful running envelopes through. Also, the video that we just did today is going to be available on YouTube or something, you know, or a link through our website. So it's going to be kind of ongoing. So we'll post stuff. So if you couldn't make it or somebody couldn't make it to this session, they can still view it on a later time. No. So basically, if you need a card kit, got asked there for envelopes, no. Just the regular stripper pad and that comes with it. The card kit is for thicker stock if you go over 200 GSM. Any other questions? Look like we answered most of the questions overall today. So any other questions you have or so, just email us at rcc@riso.com. Any topics you want to do for the next pod, Zoom, live, let me know at rcc@riso.com so we can kind of help you guys out. And that's about it for today out of Woburn, Mass.
Thank you, Juanita.
Welcome.
Very helpful.